How are all them American truckers out there doing this evening? You got Snapper here. I'm up here in the armpit of America. I'm in New Jersey again for the, I don't know, this is my second or third load back to back to this area. My time at Crete Carriers might be coming to a close. I'm still thinking on it. It appears from what I've seen this time out, as well as my last time out, also what I'm hearing from the guys coming out of orientation, because obviously your people coming out of orientation always have the newest information. So no matter where you work, you always want to listen to those guys and what they're being told, because if a company's changing policies or procedure, they're going to hear about it first. But anyway, it appears that Crete is going back to the way they operated pre-2016. Probably mid-2016 was about time it probably changed. Back then, if you were OTR operated primarily east of 35, and about 40% of that was northeast. My first time at Crete Carriers, 2014, I spent a lot of time in the New England area. Like, you'd go to Massachusetts, you'd come back out, you'd go to Ohio, sometimes Indiana, then you would turn around and come right back, Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Then you turn around and go right back to the Midwest, and you would do that over and over and over again until it was time to go home. And honestly, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I don't mind running the Northeast every now and then. I'll run it, never hear a word out of me. But when I start running it back to back, I don't like that. As any of y'all know that have been driving a while, the Northeast is just stressful. I know drivers that live up here and refuse to run up here. The only time they want to be in this area is either when they're going home or coming off of home time. The rest of the time they want to be elsewhere in the country. And I don't blame them. I don't like it for a couple of reasons. For a few reasons. One, it's basically a cut in pay. Even if you get a raise, it's still a cut in pay, because it's really hard to get the amount of miles in a day running up here as you can in most other parts of the country. It's very congested, whole lot of toll roads, whole lot of mountains, a lot of BS. The parking situation up here sucks. A lot of times you end up paying for parking, and as some of y'all know, Crete does not reimburse nor pay for parking, so that part kind of sucks. And myself, I don't know about the rest of you, but I get real bored if I run the same freight or same area all the time. I don't like being out west all the time. I don't like being anywhere all the time. There's a reason I prefer OTR. I prefer OTR because I like running everywhere. Put me on the West Coast for a couple weeks, put me on the East Coast for a couple weeks, put me in the Midwest in between. I'm happy. I'm content. But when I'm stuck to one particular freight or one area for a long period of time, I get aggravated. If I want to run one area all the time, I'll go run regional at home. There's a ton of companies with Texas Regional. I live in Texas. I can think of 3 or 4 right off the top of my head that got Texas Regional. If I wanted to run one particular area of the country, I'd go do that. I live an hour south of Houston. I'd go run local in Houston. So obviously, I'm not into that. But I did call my terminal today, and I tried to make an effort. I I could go to Mid-South or dedicated fleet, because at the moment I'm willing to do anything to get away from this Northeast crap. I literally came to Jersey. I left Jersey, went to Iowa, ran a little short load, like 120 miles over to Nebraska, turned around, came right back to Jersey. So it's really feels like we're going back to that, which makes sense. Last time fuel prices were high, pre-2016, that's what Crete did. Because as most people know, your fuel prices are higher on the West Coast than they are on the East Coast. But your fuel surcharge is the same nationwide. So a lot of companies will do that. They'll run it on a cheaper fuel, getting the same fuel surcharge, and try to lessen their freight in a higher fuel cost area. I get it. Hey, I get it. I understand completely why they're doing it. And I don't have a problem with Crete directly. I love Crete. But if that's going to be the business plan or the business model that Crete's going to go back to, then it's not going to work for me. So in which case, I'm going to have to look for something else to do with another company. So, but anyway, like I said, I called my terminal. I live an hour south of Houston. Okay. I didn't qualify for Mid-South. They said I don't live in the right area, so I couldn't get on the Mid-South fleet. And none of the dedicated fleets run out of my area. So, this is my only choice, my only option. So, basically, I didn't get upset or anything. I just said, okay. Got off the phone. Thought, well, I'm going to have to find another company. So I spent today a little bit looking around at some other companies. EW Wiley is one I'm looking at. I kind of like their glass division. I'm looking at some of their driver reviews. I looked at Maverick. I like their glass division. I took another look at Tyson. I had worked there years ago. Kind of looking around. I'm gonna put my feelers out. If any of y'all are working for what you would call a good company, put them down there in the comments. I'll take a look at them. I'm not someone who just jumps and runs. I don't do that anymore. I did that years ago, and I found a lot of times when you do that, you make a mistake. You end up somewhere. That's how I ended up at Celadon. I got mad at the company I was with, said the heck with y'all, and took off. Ended up at Celadon, which was a huge mistake. Celadon sucked. So I don't want to make a situation worse, and I don't want to trade one problem for another problem. So I'm figuring probably a couple months, because I like to talk to drivers that work for those companies. Whoever I'm looking at. I'm looking at some tanker companies, Indian River, and a couple of others. As I have a hazmat and tanker as well. I'm also looking at some dry box carriers that don't run Northeast. Believe it or not, there's quite a few of them actually that don't run the Northeast at all. Some of them just run the Midwest. Some of them run, Ohio West, all the way to the West Coast. But I don't know if I would really like that either. Because I don't mind coming to the Northeast. I just don't want to come here a lot. Once a month, and I'm good, But thought I'd update y'all. Like I say, I don't have a problem with Crete directly. Crete's an awesome company. I still suggest them. But I believe if you're coming here, that you should be prepared, and I'm not going to lie to you, be honest. There may be a lot of East Coast involved in it. Some of the guys that are coming out of orientation have started telling me that they're being told that they'll be running primarily east of 35, which that's what they used to tell us in orientation before 2016. They stopped telling us that in about mid-2016 because we were running freight everywhere. We were on the West Coast just as much as we were on the East Coast, and I loved it. So now that I'm starting to hear that again, and if you scroll down and look at one of my other videos, you'll also see one of the guys there that had called recruiting, and recruiting told him as well he was getting ready to come to Crete, that he'd be running primarily east of 35. So I believe nobody in the company has confirmed that directly to me, and I doubt anybody would, but I believe that's what's happening. You know, back then we ran a lot of Atlanta, a whole lot of Atlanta, a whole lot of Pennsylvania, a whole lot of New Jersey, and a lot of Virginia, eastern I-95 corridor Virginia. So if you're interested and you don't mind, or maybe you live up here and you want to be home more, hey man, perfect company for you. But if you're not someone that enjoys the East Coast, you're probably not going to like it. I got burned out on the East Coast years ago working for Stevens Transport. Yeah, I remember at one point I was asked, because at one time they were trying to develop like a Northeast regional. I don't know if they ever got it kicked off or not, but they had asked me to help. They were running loads from Carlisle, PA, picking them up off other drivers and taking them and delivering them in the city, in New York City. So for 6 months, all I did was run from Carlisle, PA, New York City, deliver, run my empty back out to Carlisle, PA, pick up another loaded trailer from somebody, give them that empty, and then go back into the city, delivering in Hunts Point, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Long Island. I did that for about 6 months and I couldn't take it anymore. I was popping out gray hairs by the day. It's stressful. And I got kind of burned out on it back then, so I don't particularly care for it. I don't like Seattle either, but I'll run up there every now and then. So anyway, if any of y'all have any suggestions, please drop them down in the comments. You want to say something about a company you work for, you want me to take a look at them, drop them down in the comments. Like I said, I have my hazmat, my tanker, a little more than a decade out here. I like OTR. I like a good mix of freight. I prefer not be below $1,500 a week gross. I don't lease trucks, so there's no sense in even wasting your time talking to me about that. But company only, and insurance is important to me, the cost of it. So I like companies with low cost insurance. Which, by the way, I looked at Tyson's website today. I was surprised their insurance has gone down. I think they got it as low as like $14.76 a week or something like that. I thought that was interesting. And I saw a couple companies with the free insurance. The company pays for it all. Holland, I believe, was one of them I looked at with the company paid insurance. Lone Star Trucking is another one I looked at, and I think they had a free version as well. Anyway, hope everybody out there is doing great. Hope all y'all are staying safe. Remember, we are a family out here. We stand up for each other. We stand beside each other. I hope this new mic is working a little better for some of y'all that were having a hard time hearing my videos before. Y'all know the deal. Keep trucking, stay safe, keep between the lines. Until next time, we'll see you later.